Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday here in Wales, and I thought I'd create some more video tutorials. So this is one of them. So today we're going to talk about those fantastic sort of animations that you're seeing all over Horizons, where creators are taking sort of very short clips of movies or cartoons, and they're putting them in little sort of TVs around the place. It's an amazing fact that we're starting to see more and more people make use of now. A word of caution. It's not a video player, okay? So don't treat it like a video player. This is supposed to be for slideshows or very short flipbooks. We'll go through some practices today to try and guide you down some healthy paths there. Some general rules of thumb are that, again, as I said, these are not video players, okay? So you're not going to benefit from all the normal streaming and audio that comes with video and all those sort of fantastic features that aren't available to us yet. However, the techniques that I'll show you today will allow you to take a short movie clip and turn it into a very low frame rate animation. Just be mindful that because there's no compression on these, we're going to have to keep the resolutions very, very small, and we're going to have to keep the number of frames also very, very small. So I would say, as a general rule of thumb, please try not to go over about 50 megabytes for the whole thing, and also try to keep under 100 frames as well. So we'll go through some practices there. The demo that they actually have, we'll switch to the desktop now. Okay, so the technique is actually, it's no mystery, it's no secret, it's very, very publicly available. And it's actually in the Meta Horizon developer documentation, which you can find at developers.meta.com/learn/documentation. It is publicly available, so it's right there for you to look at. So if you find the article, it's called Meta Horizon CMI TypeScript API 2 Import Images and Add Texture Animation. The entire walkthrough of actually bringing in those images is in there, and we will cover that in a bit, okay? But there's a lot of reading in here. It's a lot of good stuff. But the bit that we'll be after will be further down, about here, and it's the animated gif.ts, just listed right there. And this is the example that they give, and you can see that they use 15 different frames in their animations. That's perfect if you want a cute little dancing avatar somewhere in the middle of your space. Okay, so let's first of all look at how we actually source the images. So as always, disclaimer, don't import anything and you don't have the rights to use. So if you've got an animation that you've made yourself somewhere, or a video clip that you've made yourself, great. Disclaimer out the way. Then there's a really handy utility called Screen2GIF, which is available from screen2gif.com. It is free, because we like free things. There's no way to, we like free or reasonably priced things. And you can see that it is indeed available on Windows by the looks of it. Yeah, which is great. So if we just download that and install it via this installer link, that will set it up on our PC. Great, okay. So now that we have Screen2GIF installed, we can run it up. Now, a little bit about Screen2GIF and what it does. It is a utility which its primary purpose is to record areas of your screen and then allow you to save them as GIFs. That's useful, but it's not what we're going to be using it for, okay? We're actually going to be using the editor button here. So if I click on the editor, that'll open up this interface. Let's just move this over here, guys. Wonderful. Okay, so we have Screen2GIF open just here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to go and find a video clip that we have. Now, I'm going to use a 5-second clip, and we'll go from there. The way we do that is we hit the, we make sure in the file menu at the top, okay, just up here, and then we hit the load button. Okay, so once we've selected a file, guys, you'll see that we've got this interesting import screen that's just appeared with our clip in it. We can see that the duration down the bottom here is 5 seconds of the tip, which is lovely. That is the length of the actual trick that I've got in here. You can see here the width of the actual video clip just down the bottom left. It's saying it's 1440 by 1440. Now I would say as a general principle, go way lower than that, okay? You want your frames to load and display quickly because the method that we're using to swap these textures, it's not very efficient, okay? So you want to give it as little work to do as possible. So the easiest way to do it is in this importer. And I would just go down here and set that scale to, let's start at 30 and watch those numbers change as soon as I click out of this box. I may have to press tab there actually. There you go. So you can see the width has come down to 432, which is fine. It's fine for a small animation. Again, I wouldn't don't try and push 4K with this. That would be a very big mistake. In fact, don't even push 1080p. I would say if you're going to go for high res, I wouldn't even go be above maybe 600p. So don't really push for high resolutions with this. It's not suitable. It's not a video player. Okay, and then the next thing we can do here is we see the frame rate. So the frame rate is going to be very important. We can see that the duration of the video is 5 seconds, and at a frame rate of 20, which we can configure, that will output 100 frames. Okay, we can also specify start and end frames. So if we knew the frame numbers, we could dip that down. So we could use this bar to work out, if we slide that, how much of that video we actually want to clip. So if I only wanted the first sort of little bit, I could indeed do that. But I believe that's the full thing. Now, I can dip this down to 10 frames per second, which it'll look shoddy when I do that, to be fair. But, you know, again, for a flipbook, that's not that bad. So by dipping it down to 10 frames per second and pressing tab, you can see I've now got 50 frames. But, you know, I'm going to go even lower than that. I'm gonna dip that frame rate down to maybe 5, okay? And what frame rate you set it on is fairly important, because when you come to flipbook this, you're going to need to know approximately the delay that you have to set to try and replicate the same speed if that's what you're trying to achieve. So if I now press tab out of that, you can see that's now come down to 25 frames. So I'm going to hit OK on that to import it. And now you can see that it's actually imported all the frames, and we can slide to the different frames at the bottom here, and we can see, as promised, we've got our 25 frames in here, which is lovely. And if I go up to this playback tab at the top, I can actually just play that and get a preview as to how that would look. So there you go. The first time it plays through, it might appear to be a little jerky, but again, remember this is a 5 frames per second animation. If it's the only animation in your world, you could probably spruce that up a little bit and make it more fluid, and perhaps push 12 frames per second, maybe 15 at tops. But really, the aim is to try and get it down. It is only a flipbook. Sorry if I'm repeating myself a bit. I'm just trying to make sure I'm clear on that. So now we've got that, let's just pause. So what we're going to do is we are going to click on the one of the frames, anyone, it doesn't matter. And then we're going to hold down on the keyboards, the control key, and tap A. And when I do that, it'll select everything. So you can see all frames are now selected. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, I believe it's the file screen. And then I'm going to hit Save As. Okay, so there's a whole load of stuff going on here now. I've already got these set up, but you're unlikely going to have to do these the first time you run through it. So the first thing is, yes, you have to import textures into Horizons as PNG files. Okay, so make sure that this is set to PNG here. Okay, then this one, default PNG. Default preset for the encoder, sure, that works, go for that. Encoder, you can leave a screen to GIF, that's absolutely fine. Again, we can make sure that we've got all these selected when we do this. So you can see here, it says 26 frames selected, because I'm doing sort of a Control A on this bottom row. And I set this to a folder. You can put it wherever you want, as long as you remember where it is. So that's going to be on my C drive, and it's an anim folder. And then the actual name of the animation that I've given it is just something meaningful, like Twitch sign 1. Because if I was going to do a series of these, it would be Twitch sign 1 would be one animation, Twitch sign 2 might be a completely different animation. So once that's all set up, guys, I'm going to just double check that I've got 26 frames selected still. And once I've double checked that, I'm going to hit the save button. Here we go. So it's going to say, are you sure you want to export the frames? Yes. Yes, I am. So here we go. So you can see that it's exported 7 megabytes worth of frames. So that's great. I can then click on this folder to look at that subfolder. So I'm going to do that now. Okay, guys. So now that this folder has appeared, we're going to just quickly inspect. So we can see in here, yes, we've got our 26 items. And if I highlight them, using a sort of a Control A in here again, just in the folder, you should actually see I've got 6.96 megabytes there. Again, it's worth checking the overall size of the files that you're about to upload, because really you shouldn't be pushing too much in. I would say that personally I've pushed it to 100 frames, at probably a grand total of somewhere close to 100 megabytes. I would advise only ever doing that exactly once in any one world. I think if you go beyond that, you're going to stress people's headsets out, and they may not want to come back to your world if you do that. So just be careful with that, okay? But small is good. Small is good. So now we've done that, we're gonna open up the desktop edit, and we'll guide you through from there. Okay, guys. So now let's go to the new World's desktop editor, which if you haven't already downloaded, that is available from Mesa directly. Just have a look in their developers section, you will find it, or just Google for Horizon World's desktop editor and you'll find it. But this is it. So once we're in there and we've logged in, we can start a new world or go to one of our existing worlds, whatever we want. And then we'll notice we've got this asset library down the bottom. If it's not immediately being shown, you need to sort of click it to make sure it sort of comes up. So I'm just gonna, first of all, word of caution, when you're uploading lots and lots of files, create yourself a directory to put them in. It's a lot easier to manage a string of animation frames if they're all in one directory together. So to do that, we hit the Add New button. We choose Folder. We give it a name, and we're going to call it maybe Animation. We'll call it Twitch Animation Frames 1. Okay. Quite a long name, but at least there's no doubt what it is. Okay, and then we just hit Create. Okay, so once we've got that subfolder, we're going to add new again. And this time we're going to bring in texture. Okay, now it's going to ask us to upload a bunch of textures. So you can see that in this, it does say the maximum file size is 50 megabytes. Now that is guidance for any single image. But remember, because we're doing a Flipbook, the aim is not to get our images up to 50 megabytes a piece. That's going to be crazy. So if I just click on this button here, it'll open up a file browser, and we just multi-select the files we want to upload. So I'm just going to go into this directory we made earlier, going to select all, and then I'm going to hit the open button down the bottom. Perfect. I'm going to hit this import button here. And then we're just going to give it a little bit of time. Now, depending on the size of the files and how many, this can get, it can get quite busy, but you can see it's actually starting to upload a lot of files right now, so. Yeah. So depending on the size of the files and how many there are of them, you can see this gets a little bit busy, but if I just scroll down here, you can see they're all going. So they don't all upload quite in the same order. That's worth bearing in mind. But as we sort of scroll through it, you'll see they are all here, okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we go off to the documentation. Okay, and remember this this page here, Meta Horizon CMI and TypeScript API 2.0. It is a publicly available page, and you can see you don't have to be logged in to get to it. Okay, even though, to be honest, you should be signed up and on the program. It's just a good idea. You get so many more goodies doing that. If I go animated gif.ts, that'll take me to the magic section, which is what we're after. So if I just click this copy button here, okay, wonderful, and we go back to the editor. I'm now going to go up to the script tab, and I'm going to go create new script. I'm just going to type in animated GIF, and then just press enter. Okay. Okay, so now I've typed in animated GIF. You can see this has now appeared up here. So if anytime you want to access the script, by the way, you just go up to here. So if I now go in here, I say open in external editor. Now this will use, if you've got Visual Studio Code installed, VS Code is great. It is available for free from Microsoft. It's wonderful. And if you don't have it installed already, you really just should go and grab it. So if I now say open an external editor, that's going to open it up in VS Code. So this is VS Code. Just appeared just here. So that's great. So we are now looking at the project in VS Code. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste, I'm going to select all, Control A in here, okay? And I'm going to paste then everything that I just grabbed from that development page, okay? So that's now come in. And if I have a quick look, what have we got? Okay. So it's complaining that there are some issues here. Add texture to array. So we can see that there is indeed a message here, right? But it's actually got a bit of a bug in it. So we need to remove this slash. Yeah. And we won't worry about why that is just now, just that's what you have to do when you copy that example, okay? So you can see this is now not complaining of any problems. Now, what do we know? We know that in the editor, we've uploaded a whole load of things, haven't we? We've gone, I think, Twitch sign 1 through to, I think it was 25 that we did. So to make this work, we need to extend this a little bit. So if I just take this up to maybe here, I'm going to select this block. So line 13 through to 23, we've got 5 through to 15. And I'm going to copy. Actually, first I'm going to show you why I'm doing it. So if I first of all bring in a new shape. Let's say that shape is a 10 by 10 plane. I'm going to just drop this here, okay? Okay, now we're touching with gas. So this one, if I now set my script to animated GIF down the bottom right, you can see this is how you assign that script we just created to this. You've got the 15 different parameters here. Now, if we wanted to go above 15 frames, we have to make our way back into Visual Studio Code with that animated GIF file. We're going to select these lines here. These are the parameters, these are the props, I'm sorry, the properties. So we grab that line, copy to clipboard, I guess. And then we're just going to go down here and paste it. So, of course, we've now got mismatching lines. So I'm very quickly going to say 16, 17, oops, careful with that. 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and I think 25 is going to cut it. Did I skip any numbers? Yeah, I think that's okay. Right, so we'll leave that there. Now, the next thing we need to do, we need to scroll down. We've got all these add textures to arrays. These are also a very important part. So we're going to grab these lines here, Okay, so it's like line 52 through to 61. And when we got them in clipboard, boop, we pop them down there. We need to go back up to line 62 and start amending them to actually take the right orders. So there we are. So we've got the full loop there. Now, if I'm going to just background this a sec because I don't want this open for the moment. Okay, guys. So, yeah, basically the idea is now you could go through, and this can be challenging because they don't always get uploaded in the right order, but my Twitch sign 00 goes into texture 0 slots. I've got 3 here, okay? So I'm basically just filling them all up here in terms of the slots that they're utilizing. Let's just move this over a little bit and you can see a bit more clearly. And so if I now go hunting around for them, 6, 2 and a 3 there, 5 here, 7, 8. Okay, so that is us now set up with, I believe, just sense check it once through. Should be all the corresponding frames in there, okay? So now, just to test that, we're going to turn on the world sim, okay? So here we go. Now you can see straight up nothing has really appeared to have happened. And that's because the speed seconds is set to 1. So remember, we're not dealing with a video here, it is a flipbook. But if I set that speed seconds down to maybe, I forget what frame rate we used, I've got to be honest, but if I set it down to 0.1 and then press enter, let's see what happens. So it's actually, it's quite jerky, but we've got ourselves an animation. Again, if you do notice that a major skip and that's not part of the video, just double check the frames. But yeah, you can do a lot with that. You know, you can obviously, if it's the wrong orientation, you can resize it, you know. But yeah, well, good. So that's it, guys. I hope that was useful in some way. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please do remember to hit the like button. Please do subscribe. Also visit me over on my Twitch channel. I do live streams where I just build in Blender for sometimes hours. So you can see what exciting things I'm working on next. But honestly, drop a comment if you've got any questions, if you think I've missed anything. But thank you. You're all absolutely amazing. And yeah, good luck. Happy building. See you later.